Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Beyond Just Bougie podcast.
Episode 2.
Yes, we're so excited for episode 2. So we're in January already, like midway through January, just about. Actually, it's the 14th, so what is that? Well, I shouldn't say the date. Sorry. Anyways, we're about halfway through January, and it's crazy to think that the time has went by so fast, but we took a nice little, winter vacation. Yeah, for the holidays.
Mm-hmm. And it snowed recently.
Yes, and we're in Atlanta, and snow is a rarity here, I would say.
Yeah.
Do you remember the last time we got snow here?
I think it was 2018.
Because someone said it's 6 years, and I was like, it's been that long. I thought we got snow last year.
Mm-mm.
Really?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, this is crazy. Because I was talking with someone else, man, I want to go outside. I want to get stuff for my kids to go sledding, and the stores were wiped out. All the winter gear was gone. Mm-hmm. And the lady at the register, I told her, I was like, man, I didn't know it was going to snow. I thought it was just going to be cold. I didn't know it was going to snow. And she was like, really? And I was like, she looked at me like I was crazy. She's like, you should be prepared for anything. This is Atlanta. And I was like, okay.
No,
okay.
They haven't seen no real snow. Because I'm from New Jersey, so the snow compared to snow here in Georgia, no comparison at all.
How much snow you guys get there?
From what I remember when I lived there, the snow level will be at this level here.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm from Washington State. We get snow too, but it's weird because I don't remember it being a lot when I was a kid. But we definitely get snow. It's a different ball game if you're used to being in the snow. Yeah,
when people use the term black ice here in Georgia, I'm just like, no. I said, y'all don't even prepare for black ice in Georgia. In New Jersey, as soon as even before it snows, when they know it's gonna come, they already throw the salt already on the grounds and all that, and they got the trucks ready to go around the neighborhoods and stuff. Georgia never prepares for it every year. I feel they just let it just happen, and then they kind of freak out snow apocalypse, and everybody in the grocery stores it's half
they
empty.
come and buy everything.
Yeah,
my husband was like, the grocery stores are empty, and I was like, what do you mean? And I went to the store and I was like, okay, there's nothing.
Yeah,
I mean there's stuff, but it's you see all the people out shopping for our 1 day of snow.
What? One.
Yes, it literally melted, I believe, the next day. If not, it was crazy. The next day it was gone by the evening. I was like, oh man.
But to be honest with you, I enjoyed that 1 day of the snow. I felt we needed that change in Georgia. I was able to walk around. I was sick for a few days.
You walked out in the snow?
Yeah.
Oh.
I did for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I just stepped outside, and then I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go back inside and try to recover from this cold.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think snow is since it is such a rarity, it's a breath of fresh air for everyone. And it's it's something different. It's not hot. It's not just cold. We get to see all 4 seasons here, so it's really nice.
Yeah, I appreciate that compared to other states like California. You don't see any rain. You don't see any snow.
You don't see anything.
Yeah.
I took the most prettiest picture from outside, because in my backyard you can see the sun kind of come up, and I have all the trees, so you just see all this ice and snow, all the trees, and you see this nice bright sun ray. And I was like, this is the only thing I'm going to miss about the snow is the scenery. It was beautiful. It definitely was very pretty. I'm a scenic person, if you haven't noticed yet.
Yeah.
I'm a very scenic person. I love the sunrise. So,
well, with this new year and the new changes that we're going to have this year, so Tanisha, we talked about the topic of glow up season.
Yes.
So,
yes, yeah. I feel it's definitely the perfect kind of time for glow up season, because I feel we're kind of getting out of that shock that it's New Year. It's it's kind of hitting oh my gosh, we're halfway through the first month of the year. It's it's officially 2025. So it's starting to pivot and starting to be real that we need to start getting ready for things that we want to accomplish this year, because it's dang, if we just keep on going we're not going to get anything done by the end of the year, because the days just keep moving, and
they do.
It's it's running along.
I totally agree. Well, Tanisha and I, we always talked about glow up season and conversations that we have, a little girl chit chats. So I told Tanisha, I think the definition of glow up season is basically a level up every day, just for yourself and physically, mentally, and spiritually. And also, in my opinion, glow up season, and we talked about this a few minutes ago too. We said that, well, you said that people think that glow up season or just like glow up in general for an individual is externally, but it's not. It's internally too.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I was trying, I was explaining to you, I was like, I feel like it gets a bad rap because everyone's like, oh, glow up season, like, we're just making all these appearance changes and, you know, things like physically, and it's like a whole, like, making yourself well-rounded, like you were talking about in the definition, is like, spiritually, it's, you know, physically, it's mentally, like, it's a whole, like, ordeal, like, when we talk about glow up in, like, a full circle type of ideal.
And I think so too. I think if you do it externally, you're cheating in a sense.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you glow up externally when you're not putting in the work in yourself glowing up? Because it makes such a huge change. And like we said, the minds are so powerful. So why you won't, you know, make those changes? Yeah, put in the work internally.
Yeah. So I think that one thing that's kind of controversial about the glow up season, not controversial, but like a misconception about it, is because a lot of people start with external because that's what you see. So when you see yourself show up in a different way externally, then you have to start to switch the internal
mindset.
Yeah, so I see why we start external, but you definitely have to put in the work on both fronts, like internal and external.
You know, it's funny, like, with the topic glow up season, I think style is like the biggest, like we said, externally, sorry. Like, style is part of glow up season. So, just like we went to Aritzia last year when we did our Christmas shopping.
Yes.
Any girls that know about Aritzia or males, you know, Aritzia is like, it's more of like
it's that place.
It's that place. You can spend a bank in there, like $1,000 or more than that.
But the thing about it too, it's like, I feel like you can be satisfied with anything you buy there.
Yes.
It's like, it's something, it's quality, it's something that's gonna last you. You do spend the money, but like, I feel like it lasts. It's not like cheap material or something that's gonna fall apart. Like, they're like classic, like iconic pieces that you're gonna keep. So.
But when we went to Aritzia for Christmas shopping, remember how, like, some of the outfits I pulled out, I was like, Tanisha, I really think I'm just at the point, I'm over, like, the style I had, and I just want to start something brand new, like, shift something into, like, a grown woman status, or just, like, high-quality woman status. So.
Okay, so I'm going to make you laugh real quick. We're going to make you laugh real quick. So, I am, and I have been obsessed with Hello Kitty for, like, years. Okay. So, like, I'm the type of person, like, I go and I see, like, the Hello Kitty sweatshirt or, like, the Hello Kitty. They had the cutest Hello Kitty onesie. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is so cute. Like, it's comfortable. Like, it's so me. And I'm like, but it's not, because I want to be, like, in this grown woman version of myself, and I just don't see myself wearing that. Well, your inner
child came out, so.
It does. It comes out all the time, but I didn't buy it. I put it back. But sometimes you have to have the piece that you just, like, that comfort piece, like, when I'm around the house. So, like, I wanted to buy it so much, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to buy it. I'm not, you know, in my 20s anymore. Like, I want to go in this grown woman era, and I want to show that. And so, even though I like that, and I'm still into that, like, it just doesn't make me feel like the way I want it to. Yeah, it doesn't give me that feeling.
Like, even, not to get off topic, like, when I got my bangs, and I was like, I had, like, these, like, inside voices where I was like, well, I did this when I was young. How am I going to feel about this now, you know, being in my 30s, having bangs? Like, am I still going to feel like, you know, a younger woman, or am I going to feel like a grown woman? So, yeah, when I got my bangs, like, it gave me, you know, like, not grown woman status. It gave me, like, a new look that I wanted, but I kind of, like, got over that phase a little bit.
I feel like bangs come and go so much. Because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so bored with my hair. What do I do? And it's like, okay, let's get bangs. Yeah. And then once we get the bangs, it's like, oh my gosh, can these things just grow out?
Back to, you know, the style, like Aritzia, like we said, Aritzia is, like, one of our favorite stores, and, like, we both feel like the quality of it is, like, so good, and, like, you're putting in an investment into Aritzia, like, you're shopping there. You know, when it comes to style, it's like trial and error. You figure out what you want, and it depends on, like, your body type, of course, and like what works for you. And I feel like 2025, like, I'm still figuring out, like, my style, but I'm glad, like, you know, I got that vest dress that I saw.
You got some cute stuff when we went to the mall this last visit. We went to Lenox, and you got some really cute things. But I'm so happy they're starting to put like some of these stores that have been online only for so long in like the malls, because I prefer to shop in store. I know there's a lot of people right now, it's like online is their thing. But I'd love to try to. I'm that person. I'll grab like 20 things, and I'll try them all on, and I'll leave with like 3. Yeah. Because it doesn't fit me right, or I just don't like it. But even from Savage X Fenty to Skims, a bunch of Good American. Oh my God, Skims. Yes, I was so obsessed with the store. I have been dying for Skims to come in store just so I can try stuff on, because I buy stuff online all the time, and like the fit, I don't even want to say the fit is hit or miss. It's just like I prefer that in-store shopping experience, and that's just from my own. I love going to the mall.
And I'm actually glad, like, when we went to Skims, that sales guy, like, he was telling me, like, hey, like, this bodysuit is not meant for you to wear outdoors.
You get like more recommendations by going in store and talking to actual people.
And I'm glad
what was he saying about that bodysuit?
He said it was so funny. He was like, because there was one bodysuit that caught my attention, and he was like, hey, just letting you know, like, this is something that you wear as, like, an undergarment. Yeah. And he was like, a lot of girls will just wear it with just jeans. And he was like, it looks tacky. And
but that's like the style. A lot of people have been doing that. Since Skims came out, a lot of people have been wearing just that bodysuit with jeans. And that's, like, been the look. And then you wear, like, a blazer or something over it. Like, a lot of people have been doing that. And he's like, he corrected us. He's like, no, we have ones that you can wear outside now. But this one's not it.
Yeah.
That is what he said.
Yeah. But I'm glad you told me that, because, you know, I was obsessing over that outfit, but I'm still going to be Skims girl. So
yeah. I can't wait for the Good American shop to open. I bought a few pair of jeans from them. I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm cheap, but, you know, sometimes I'm a little cheap when I'm first trying out something. And so I was like, man, I don't want to spend all this money on a pair of jeans I don't know if I'm going to like. But they run sales. And if you catch a good sale, it's like 50% off clearance. Yeah. And so I got like a pair of jeans for like $30, $40. And I was like, okay, let me try and see if I like it. Okay. And I actually really like them. Like, it's the first pair of jeans. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm obsessed with these. I got a few pair from Target that I really like too. Oh, okay. But like for like quality jeans, like I did like those. And I was like, okay, I could see myself like spending the money on a few pair of jeans. So
I think it's funny too when you go through your glow up season. You don't shop at the stores like you used to. Like, remember we went to Papaya, and like, what's the other store? There's another store, American Eagle. I don't shop at American Eagle anymore. It's just not my style anymore. Like Hollister, I don't shop there either. I'm look for more of like classy.
I was gonna say, so what is like your glow up season type like style? Classy and conservative. I want to go back to like the basics. I'm like one of those people. I forgot what they. It's like a collection. You just stick with the basics, so that way you always have something to wear. I want to just accumulate the basics and just have like that functional wardrobe that's cute, simple. You can pair it with like a spice outfit. But I think like in my closet, what I'm missing the most and in my style is just like the basics. Yeah. So.
I definitely know like I'm in my glow up season because it's so weird for me. Like, I like comfortable clothing, but whenever I go out to certain occasions, like, I don't know, if I go out with my girlfriends or just, like, out somewhere where people are dressing up, it'll be so weird, and I will feel so out of my element if you see me in a hoodie or just, like, and, like, some Uggs. And, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not judging anyone that does, but it makes me feel so out of my element.
But I will say there's a way to elevate that, because I saw this lady, when we went to the mall, actually, I saw this lady, she had on like sweats and a crew neck, but she paired it with like a trench, like fur coat, like to the floor with like a nice pair of tennis shoes. And the layered jewelry and like the slick clean bun, and I was like, okay, that's the way to wear comfort.
That's what I meant. Like, if I don't put, like, my outfits together. Yeah. Like, if I just threw anything on, I would feel kind of what you mean. Sluggish or just, like, I just was lazy that day to put outfits
together. Yeah, and that's, I'm trying to get out of that bubble, because that's how I look a lot of the times. Like, I'm just sweatpants and, like, comfort. And I'm like, dang, what do I have to wear? Because I'm always just wearing, like, sweatpants. And it just doesn't feel like... my authentic self. Like, I want to be like all dressed up and like decent, like in the base. I mean, not saying I want to be like, you know, like dressed up, like glammed out all the time, but I want to be more put together in my outfits at all times.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree. Also too, like glow up season, in my opinion, I think it's like self-love too, where like you're practicing like self-care, like, well, affirmations, like positive affirmations, like self-care, like taking care of your skincare, keeping up with your hair, like your nails.
It's like a whole ritual.
Yeah.
Like glow up season is kind of about customizing a ritual that works best for you, including like your style, your self-care, your morning affirmations, like you were saying, and in bundling that all into a package that's authentic to yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. I need to go back to like doing my facials. Like I should do home facials because, you know.
Or just a home skincare routine.
Yeah, home skincare routine. So
I want to start getting facials. I want to take really good care of my skin. You know, I'm starting to get a little older, so skincare to me and taking care of like my skin, super important. It is, and I underestimate like just that. See, for me, doing skincare routine is like 15 minutes at minimum. Like, well, I do like a wash and I'll break down.
Because the girls are now doing like the 9-step skincare. So
I don't know if I'm quite at 9 steps, but to me it is a good 10-15 minutes. It feels like, I don't know if it actually is, I haven't timed it, but it feels like a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't have that time. I'm in the bed. But I've noticed when I do my skincare and I wake up in the morning, my skin looks better. So it's like, dang, I should just invest that 10-15 minutes into myself so I can look and feel better. And that's kind of like what the idea of glow up season is about. Like, you have to make these changes so you can see results.
Oh, speaking of change, that one topic that we were talking about a couple of months ago, before we thought about not before we thought about the podcast, but like we were, you know, having conversations. I think so too, Tanisha, is like part of glow up season is like decluttering your space. We always talk about decluttering your space. It just it does something to you mentally. It gives you a clear mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that is affecting of your environment. And your environment affects your mental state, which a lot of people don't realize. But like me right now, you know, I tell this to you all the time, like my house is chaos. There are toys everywhere. There are papers everywhere. There's just junk everywhere. And it's cluttering. And it clutters my mind because all I can think about is I gotta put this here, put this there, do that, organize this. And it's like, if your mind is so weighed down with these little minute things to do all the time because your environment is cluttered, like how do you think? How do you create? And how do you be in a mental space to like move forward in your life?
I totally agree.
So,
and you watch those movies or documentaries on Netflix of like,
I love
women.
No, I told you Marie. Are you talking about Marie Konoto? I tell you about my Marie Konoto.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was Marie Konoto. I feel like it was a few years back. She had a Netflix documentary, and it's like she goes into people's house and she's like tells people like how to declutter their stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. Like if you were doing your closet and your clothing, she would take all your clothes, all your shoes, all your drawers, and she would like put it on your bed. So everything at once, dump on your bed, and it allows you to see how much stuff you have. And so what she does is she's like, she would grab this and like, does this bring you joy? And you're like, oh my goodness, I love this. Like this has this memory for me, or I really like it. It makes me feel this way. And she's like, if it doesn't like have that significance to you, then maybe you should let it go. Or if you haven't wore it in like, or it's a brand new item and it's just been sitting in your closet, you're like, oh, I'm gonna lose 5 pounds, I'm gonna fit this, but it's been 3 years later. Like, let someone else have it. You know, just get rid of it. So totally it's like the art of decluttering. She makes decluttering such an art and a joy to do. So Marie Konoto is the jam for that. I think they have another one like the Home Edit. It's a business and they have a Netflix special too. I think it's called the Home Edit. But they go to people's houses and they organize and it looks so pretty. I don't know if there's so much. I could be wrong, but I don't know if there's so much for decluttering, but they're for organization. So like if you want to keep 110 different kind of pencils, they'll show you how to organize them so they look nice and presentable and aesthetically pleasing. So they have stuff too, and they have like a kit at Walmart, like with their acrylic like little organizers, and they have stuff at the Container Store, I believe, too. So they're definitely my jam as well, because I love. There's nothing like a good container.
I think what helps too is like labels.
Yes,
labels on things. It makes life so much easier, because when you're looking for something, you're just like, oh, it's right here. Like, remember that conversation me and you had where I told you I want to become like this dream woman that I want to become, and you were like, you're already that girl, so you got to manifest it just like you want to manifest your life, like just like how we're both manifesting like this podcast, and like we're trying to build the life that we think we deserve. So I think that's like part of, you know, your glow up season too. And just like believing like you deserve that life that you deserve. Yeah,
and I think one of the things I've always told you too is like, when you think of glow up season and it's like in an authentic way and an internal way, like you think about like it makes you reflect on yourself and like what you actually want out of life. Yeah. Because it's like, how do you become this person that you don't know you want to become? Or how do you become this version of yourself that you think you want to become, but you don't know the details of who that person is? So it's like you're on a journey to nowhere if you don't like have your final step or your final destination of where you're going. I really thought about when I was thinking about like the glow up season idea, and I was like, one thing about like, I feel like in our society right now is like, when we want to become our authentic self, it's like so hard. And so one thing like I want to encourage people is like, just don't ask permission to live your own life. And you know, it sounds like stupid, but you know, sometimes we look for such validation in other people, and it's like, this is your life. Like, be authentic to yourself. And I don't know if I ever told you to, like, one thing I like to do for the year is like have a word for the year. And so my word for 2025 is authentic. Like, I just want to be my authentic self and show up as my authentic self in like every situation possible. And this year too, like what I want to do this year is I want to put myself first. So anything that crosses my mind that I want to like achieve, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna listen to any outside voices. Because it's like, why should I'll say this because I don't care, it's the podcast, but that's the point. We're gonna be honest, we're gonna give you those truths. I don't think anyone should listen to outside voices. Like, for example, you shouldn't get advice from someone from someone if you're not trying to live the life that they're living. Yes. I just don't think you should listen to that anyway, like at all. In general. Because like for example, I've had situations, like conversations with like some people where I was like, you know, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a TikToker and all sort of stuff. And like, people are so quick to say, TikTokers are like not 9 to 5 people. And I'm just like, well, they're making more money from being a TikToker than a 9 to 5 job. And people are so like critical when it comes to like influencers and all that. Like, yes, like you got to think longevity wise. Like, is this something like that I could do until like a certain age, like until retirement age? Who knows? But it's like, why would I listen to someone that doesn't even do TikTok? Like, I'd rather listen to someone that already got their feet wet with that than someone that's like doesn't even have like anything that has to do with like the influencer life, if that makes sense. Yeah, and you're like, you're listening to people who like, you don't want to listen to the people who aren't even interested in that field. Exactly. Yeah. So I'd rather deal with people that are like-minded, you know? Yeah, and I think one thing that when it comes to taking advice, so one thing for me is like, I look for like advice a lot and validation from my husband. So one thing for me, like, I'm like, I have learned in my life, like, don't consult but consider. Like, so I shouldn't always have to like, I can ask his opinion, but I mean, I don't always have to ask his opinion and like go with that. Like, I should already like kind of have like what I want to do, but I should consider his feelings. If that makes sense. So sometimes it's like, man, I want to see what he thinks and how I should move and this and that, or like what's his opinion. And it's like, man, then it weighs down on like what I would do. And it's the same thing like if I go to my parents about something and I'm like, oh, what do you think about this? And I was like, you know, I should have my own gut feeling about it, and I should go with my gut. And then in my gut, I should be considerate of others around me and that like how it affects others. But at the end of the day, it's my decision to make. So that's one thing that's hard, is like when you're always, I don't want to say I'm always seeking validation, but I like to hear other people's opinions and see how that sparks different ideas for me. But normally I have like that root type of that root thing that I want to accomplish. Like I know the solution, but I'm looking for other alternatives. But I already know what my solution is. Does that make sense? Yeah,
it makes sense. Like even the topic about like, oh gosh, marriage. Whenever I tell some people, I'm like, I want to get married. I want this and this and that, and I hate how society puts like pressure on women like in their 30s, like you have to be married at a certain age and like you have to have kids and all this other stuff. I think part of growing up too, Tanisha, is like being consistent too with your glow up.
Consistency?
Yeah.
Consistency?
Yeah.
Consistency?
Yeah.
It's like the hardest thing ever.
Oh.
For me in my book. Like it's so hard for me to stay disciplined to the idea of being consistent with something, and I think that's one of the reasons that I always come to like that stopping point, that breaking point, because I fail at consistency.
Me too.
It's so hard to stay consistent.
Because you could say like you want to, focus on this new hobby or this new task, and it could be good for like 1 or 2 weeks, and then I don't know where you just stop doing it.
I'm gonna give the example that everyone in life can probably relate to. Is if you want to lose or gain weight. It's like being consistent with like diet and exercise. I don't know what it is. It's like I can start one day and be so good, and the next day it's like, man, a little ice cream, a little snack, a little treat. I'm like,
and then you go back to your old ways,
and then it just opens the floodgates for reverting.
Yeah,
I think one thing I had heard one time was like basically like if you mess up, don't like revert, just keep going
trying
forward.
Yeah.
So don't let that one mistake like stop you. Like just get over the one mistake. Like I ate the cookie, okay, great. Like have a salad for my next meal. Have something healthy, and get back to your meal plan. Like don't let that one thing throw you off track for everything. Because it's like if you do that, you'll never accomplish anything in life.
It's all about baby steps too. We talk like you said.
Yeah, baby steps.
So yeah, I think it's just like I said, being consistent and just like. I think keeping track too, and just being nice to yourself, and finding grace in if you do those little mistakes, or like if you kind of like set back on, your goals, or like any task that you're trying to like accomplish, then just be gentle with yourself. We're not perfect. We're freaking humans.
So I'm not gonna lie. That is one of the phrases that. Like, I get it, but I can't stand it. When people say, oh my goodness, Tanisha, just give yourself grace. And I'm like, no, I don't need grace. I need discipline. I need consistency. I need focus. And they're like, no, okay, you have to give yourself some grace, though. And it's like, I get it. But at the same time, you're like, man, I should just, like, why is it so hard for me to just do the thing? So, like, for me, like I told you, it's weight loss. Like, I really want to try and lose weight. Like, my baby is 8 months old. Like, baby weight could be gone. It's just, I don't have that discipline and consistency to stay focused, and everyone's like, oh, Tanisha, you have to give yourself grace, you're doing this, you're doing that, and I was like, yes, but I also need to add like a workout or a walk or like a healthier diet into the routine. Like I can't give myself grace forever. So it's like there is like, I feel like there's limits to the term giving yourself grace, if that makes sense. But I do get it, because some people are like ultra hard on themselves, or some people need to hear that, like, okay, just calm down, pump the brakes, like give yourself a break, give yourself grace. I do get the term, but I'm tired of hearing that. I really am. I like, everyone says that to me, like, Tanisha, just give yourself grace. And I'm like, yeah. If I give myself grace, I'm going to be fat forever. It's true. Like, it's true. It's like, at some point, it's like, oh, no, like, hey, let's go for a walk. Like, take me to the
one thing I
take
hate.
me to the mall and let me walk.
Like, the one thing I hate, well, I wouldn't say hate, my body weight fluctuates. And I'm so sad because, like, last year, we're not going to go back to, our past, but just wanted to bring this up. Like, I reached my body goal last year. Because it's hard for me to, I wouldn't say it's hard for me to gain weight, but it takes a while for me to gain weight because I still have fast metabolism. Yeah, lucky you. So, like, when I reached my body goal weight, and then I started doing some cardio and stuff, and then I lost it. I was like, well, man, like, I hate that. So I'm trying to do that this year, gain my weight back, and just being consistent with, like, eating and just, like, know that sometimes like stuff like that happens. Like you're gonna lose your weight, you to gain that weight back, or just like you just have to be kind to yourself. And this year, glow up season, like we talked about positive affirmations of being kind to yourself, and basically it's just like you're stepping into this new version of yourself and just being consistent and having that self confidence in yourself that you could possibly go up and become the person that you want to be.
And it's also about having the discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one thing is they say sometimes, you know, you don't always want to do something, but you need to do it. Like you have to do it. So it's just like you have to do the thing, and that's how you build discipline. It's just doing the things like you don't feel like doing sometimes. And all of that is like you're saying, it comes to like it's mental. It's the mental part of blowing up.
Yeah, shifting that mindset to and basically, you know, staying consistent, like I said, having that mindset that, you know, it will happen. If it doesn't happen this year, do it next year. Just saying. But yeah, I mean, 2025, I feel like that's going to be your year.
I've heard a lot of people saying that 2025 is the year.
Yeah.
So that should be encouragement for a lot of you out there. 2025 is the year. 2024 is gone. Like, let's just let it go. Like, there are certain things that were good from 2024. For me, there was good things. There were highlights to the year, and there's highlights to every year. But 2025 is the year. Like, so let's just get after it. Let's get our mindset right. Let's get these positive affirmations going.
Of course.
And let's glow up.
Yeah.
It's a new year. It's a new day, and it's glow up season.
Yeah. Guys, like if you want to send like any comments or anything that you think that you want to change for your glow up season in 2025, please leave a comment. Thank you guys for coming to our second episode for glow up season,
and we'll see you on the next one.